the training isn't the answer to solve that business problem. It's like you're planting a seed. So you're giving everyone this baseline information, but when they go back to their job, it's the manager's job to nurture that seed.
Hello and welcome to the Leadership Launchpad. This week we are doing something a little bit different because last month I got to go out to the DevLearn conference in Las Vegas, which is a really big industry conference where all these different learning leaders from all over the world come together. And I have an audience where I'm often trying to serve managers, not necessarily learning itself. And so what I wanted to do at this conference is sit down with a bunch of different learning leaders to ask them the simple question: what is one thing they wish more managers knew about training? The conversations went in a number of different ways. There were certainly some themes, and you're going to hear that today. But I thought it was really interesting. They're very short episodes, so we're going to put out several a week over the next couple weeks, so that you can get a sense from the people who are out there in the field working with organizations to help improve performance. What is a better way that you as a manager could partner with them? Today, in our very first one of these discussions, it's with a good friend of mine, Debbie Richards. She is a international keynote speaker. She's an AI strategist. She's kind of really sitting at the intersection right now of AI and what it's doing to learning, what it's doing within these organizations. And she kicks off kind of all of these discussions in a really great way, because the first thing that she talked about is how managers can see talent development, learn development, whatever it's called at your organization. Make sure you see them as strategic partners, because very often learning actually isn't the answer. We think training is an easy solve. That's what I talked about earlier in a solo podcast episode last month, where I talked about, learning shouldn't be just this checkbox exercise. It really is about how to work with talent development as a strategic partner. This is a theme that's going to follow in a lot of our discussions. So I really enjoyed this. I think it's a great way to kick off these discussions. I hope you enjoy it. Debbie, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Matt. Great to be here with you.
Thank you. I'm so excited you took a minute from the conference to come over, because I really wanted to have this discussion, because as we were talking before, you're right now kind of sitting at this intersection between AI and learning. It's completely transforming what learning can do for the business, but the business often doesn't know any of that's happening, especially at kind of the frontline manager level. And so I wanted your take on, what is one thing you wish managers knew about training, given all the changes after you?
I think for me, and this is just from lots of experience in working with enterprise organization, the big thing is to let talent development be your strategic partner. Okay. Many times I'll see organizations that will send in an intake form, a request for training, but they don't put any reasoning behind it. They don't give them the business case. They don't give them the business problem they're trying to solve, because folks in talent development can customize the training to make it fit and help you with that situation. But you've got to share more information. And I also want to say that the training isn't the answer to solve that business problem. It's like you're planting a seed. So you're giving everyone this baseline information, but when they go back to their job, it's the manager's job to nurture that seed. So they've got to coach. They need to provide feedback. They need to add the extra value and the follow-up to make sure that things are happening. And it's important for them to give feedback back to talent development. So if the training didn't hit the mark, that we understand why. Because it's not like a one and done situation. It's an ongoing iterative process. And both manager and the folks in talent development are both part of that process.
I think that's the key thing right there, seeing it as an iterative process in an ideal world. Because what I hear you saying is kind of both. It's both the before and the after. It's really before the training itself, really thinking of it like a dialogue of, let's talk about what the real challenge is. Because, let's be honest, like sometimes the L&D team can be really far removed from the business. And so understanding that there is that separation, bringing the information that they're going to need to actually help you is really important. And then in the back end, also realizing that it's not click and you're done. There's a cycle there.
Definitely. And what I would say to my friends in talent development is don't use success matrices that are part of the L&D process to define that success. It has to be success matrices from the business.
Yes.
What do they feel the success is?
Yeah.
So that you are doing that. It's not like we've got so many people that have gone through this process and trained. No, we want to make a big impact, and I've been using, and I'll be talking about this at the conference, a concept that I call the AI North Star.
Mm-hmm.
So it's imagining using AI to help solve those problems. So my AI North Star is, what is that business problem that I'm trying to achieve?
I like that.
And then how am I going to succeed doing that? What are those success matrices?
Yeah.
So you have specific business related goals, to solve that problem. So that's everything in a nutshell. It's an iterative process, and those success matrices have to come from the business. They have to relay to talent development what their challenges are.
I think that's really important. Also, that's really important for the talent development folks to understand, but it's also really important for the managers, because I think often when they think about training, they feel like they know the right words or phrases, or they think about school and what should the metrics be. It's your metrics, right? Like the goals of the training should be to change the metrics that you already care about. And talent development just doesn't know what those metrics are. And so it's about communicating those metrics. Makes it a lot easier to have conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was fantastic, Debbie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening in on the conversation. I hope you got as much out of it as I did. If you are a manager yourself and you're looking for more insight onto how to better lead your team, please make sure to check out some of our other amazing episodes. If you are responsible for developing leaders in your organization and you're struggling to make programs that actually change behavior and actually impact the business, please reach out so we can figure out how to make your organization better every day. Drop me a line using matt@bettereverydaystudios.com. I look forward to the conversation.